Hello everyone, it's Sanzio Vezi here, and today I'm gonna review the most famous silent guitar SLG-200NW. Okay, this is not the normal N model. This is NW model, which means the nylon wide. So the nut width is as same as the original classical guitar, which is 52 millimeters. And this is the review for especially for those who are vacillating between the SLG 200N model, which is the normal one, and the 200NW model. So I was the one who were vacillating between, and in conclusion I bought all of the two. So I'm gonna, you can judge from my video, you can judge which one you should buy. And after that, I'm going to tell you the 5 advantages of the silent guitar. This includes the normal N model and the NW model, and also the 4 disadvantages of the silent guitar, and also little tips, maybe 5 of them, little tips for using silent guitar. Okay, let me introduce my history of the silent guitar. About 6 or 7 years ago, I bought the 200N model, which has the narrower neck model. It's 52 millimeter, but that has the probably, I don't know, 48 millimeter or something, which is definitely narrower than this neck. And I've used that instrument quite a long time, and I was very satisfied with that condition quality. But after using for 1 year, I just sold it in the used market, because I had some kind of yearn for the natural sound, because it sounded really good, but it doesn't sound as good as the natural one, the original one, which is the guitar. Something look like this. So I kind of missed the sound of the natural classical guitar, so I sold the silent guitar, and I bought this model, which costs around $2,000 in Korea, and I was satisfied with it. And I kind of missed this gorgeous and uncomparable silent guitar. I missed that sound, I missed the comfortability, and I missed the portability. So I recently bought it. It costs around $100 more expensive than the normal N model, which I bought in the past. I think the price difference, I think it deserves it. And okay, so let me start with the introducing some of the differences between the normal one. Okay, the first difference is this white tuning peg on the head machine head. You can see the this white kind of ivory peg head. It looks much beautiful, I think, than the reddish or the reddish or the scarlet kind of peg head of the normal N model. It feels really nice and looks beautiful. I don't know, you can see the surface, but it looks like some kind of, some kind of great craftsman carved this by hand. But when you touch it, you can feel nothing. Maybe it's kind of like a print, but it looks cool though. So that's the first difference between N model and NW model. And definitely two, obviously, the width of the nut, the width of the neck is definitely wider than the normal one. I think the normal 200N model is for the versatile players, which is not a professional classical guitar player, but for the acoustic guitar player or the electric guitar player, when they need the nylon sound, they can easily play this silent guitar because of the narrower neck. This comparing to the acoustic steel string guitar or the electric guitar, the classical guitar neck is much wider than those necks. Probably the normal acoustic guitars neck width is between 43 millimeters and to 45 millimeters, but this is 52 millimeters, so it's definitely wider, and some of them can't go around the neck like this. You can do this, but it's much difficult for the electric guitar players to go around the neck. So the normal N model will be the perfect choice for the steel string guitar player or electric guitar player, but someone like me who started the guitar, play the guitar with the classical guitar, have no problem. We have no problem playing this thick and wider neck. And the last difference is the fretboard. I don't know, you can see the kind of darkness of the fretboard. This is the ebony, okay? The normal 200N model has the rosewood fretboard, but this has the ebony fretboard, which is considered the higher quality fretboard in the world of classical or acoustic guitars. In electric guitar, there's a controversy among the ebony and rosewood and maple fretboard. everybody have their own preferences, so there's a little controversy, but there's no question, there's no doubt about it, in the steel string guitar world, the ebony fretboard is definitely considered as the higher quality than the rosewood fingerboard. So that's the major differences between the normal one and the NW one. The reason I bought this model is that I have some kind of principle that I don't buy the same model that I had and sold the model. So, but I really missed this silent nylon string guitar, so I just gave a little difference in neck, so I chose NW model. And I've heard, because of the ebony fretboard, it has the fuller sound, which is the better sound. But as I think of it, it's not because of the ebony fretboard, but because of the wider neck, I think, wider fretboard. You know, the wider fretboard tends to resonate more. You know, it enables the strings shake up and down more, you know, further. So I think the sound is a little fuller than the normal model that I remember, but I'm not sure. It can be just placebo effect. So let's get into the business. Okay, the advantages. First one, the use of earphone outlet and battery system. That's the key. That's the first and utmost advantage of the silent guitar, I think. If you see the over here, you can see this earphone outlet, and with the earphone connected, you can, with the earphone on your ear, you can directly hear the sound that you play, and the quality is overwhelming, you know. I think some of you just picture yourself, you're in the cafe, or you're in the bar, or you're in the outside park, or you're in the living room full of your family members. In that situation, you can, you know, you suddenly feel like playing the guitar, and you can bring this kind of guitar, which makes the sound outside, but not everybody wants to hear your music, especially in the public places. So you can just simply bring this gorgeous silent guitar and put it on the earphone, and that will bring you to a whole totally another world. It can bring you to your music world. It's the utmost advantage, the best advantage of this guitar, I think. And that was the why, the major why, reason why that I bought this guitar twice, okay? And the design, second of all, the second advantage is design, you know? Look at this. Gorgeous design. It's been over 10 years since it's released, and they never pronounced the 300 model, which is the upper generation of the 200, but this is still the best seller among the guitar players, I've as far as I know, because its particular look, you know, the sound, the body is totally hollow in the upper bow and the lower bow. It's totally hollow. It looks just like the fish without the meat, you know. When you ate all of the meat out of the fish, you just get the bones around the fish. It looks just like that, but it looks gorgeous. You can just hang them in the wall, hang it in the wall, and it will be a great artistic object as itself. So I love the design. Of course, I love the golden guitar design, golden, but it's a little different, you know. They don't have this hollow space. They look like a normal classic, normal electrical guitar. It looks nice, but I prefer this particular model's design, okay? And number 3 is portability, you know. Let me just disassemble its wing to put them in the case. Okay, this is the gig bag of the silent guitar, and you put the bigger part over there, and in this space you put the wing over here, and you just zip it up. And that's it, you know? You could just put it on around your shoulder, and just you can bring it, and you can just hold it with your hand like this, and it's much more smaller than the normal gig bag. I'll show you the this is the case for the normal Dreadnought gig bag, normal Dreadnought guitar, and look at this size difference. You can immediately see the difference, and the width is also much more thinner. And look, and it looks bizarre, you know. Looks pretty much like you know, when I put it on my shoulder, I feel a little, you know, familiar. Back in military, back when I was in military, I used to sling my rifle on my right shoulder. So it looks cool, you know, just by, you know, hanging on the right shoulder, you know. And it depends on the airline's regulation, but this size especially the length, is perfectly fit to the overhead compartment of the airplanes. So when you are going all around the world, this is the perfect companion for your journey. Let me reassemble the wing. Okay. And number 4 is the effects. As you know, they have these effects over here, and the major effects is the reverb. Reverb over here, reverb 1 and reverb 2. Reverb 1 is, I think, it's whole. Reverb 2 is room reverb, room. I don't know which one is room or whole, but either way, the reverb is the key of this instrument, because you know they the normal classical guitar has its sustains of the sound, which goes around inside the body and going out. So it has a natural reverb in the classical guitar like this. But this is some kind of electrical device, you know? The way it generates the sound is electrical. So it must need the reverb to have the softer sound. And this reverb is really high quality, I think. So it sometimes it sounded better, even better than the normal classical guitar when it comes to playing something like I'm sorry, I don't have the amp right now, so something like a Shape of My Heart by the Sting. It sounded better, even better. And they have EQ over here, so you can, you know, adjust your treble and bass. That's the 4th advantage. And the 5th advantage is the summary of the 4 below, 4 I've mentioned. It's the unity. Unity, that means perfect as this is, you know? That means you don't need amps, you don't need cables, you don't need effectors, you don't need tuner, they have tuner. You don't need also speaker because it has the aux in, so you can connect your phone or MP3 to hear the music. But this this only this is only when you suppose when you hear the music, hear the sound by the earphone. Okay? Yeah, you don't need. So this instrument itself is perfect as it is. You know, as long as you have the, you know, you have the sufficient battery, and you have the earphone, that you don't need any of additional devices to play the music. These are the advantages. So let's move on to disadvantages. Some of them are controversial on the line, and I'll give you the alternatives too. First one, it's heavy than it looks. In fact, it feels heavier even than the real guitar, which is the normal classic guitar. It actually weighs much heavier. But you know why? This is some kind of electric guitar. It's like Fender, or it's like Fender or Epiphone or Gibson electric guitar. The structure of this guitar, this middle part has the electronics over here. This is not the wood. The wood is over here, and also probably this wood is just the cover of the electronics. I think this electronic part weighs quite heavy, and these wings just frame, so it will be light, and these necks too. And you know what? Golden also is very heavy than the normal classical guitar. So this is what you get. So I think it's disadvantage, but you don't have the choice, okay? And number 2 is comfortability. I felt it's comfortable, but it's not comfortable when you assemble it. Did I show you the detachment and the reassemblement? This kind of tricky part. When you get it out of the case, every time you get it out of the case, you need to assemble it and disassemble it. That process can be a little tricky to you, a little wasteful to you. And when you hold the guitar, some of them says it's uncomfortable because it's much smaller. This body is much smaller than the normal classic guitar. I believe it's even smaller than the parlor body guitar. Let me compare it. See? It's even smaller than the width is even smaller than the parlor body guitar. So it holds a little uncomfortably to some people. I am adapted to this guitar, but you can use the string, you can use the strap and hold it like this, like a jazz guitar. So that was the alternative. And number 3 is the sound. You know, there's, big preference differences on this guitar. Some of them, they say it has too much bass and it sounds artificial, and it has too much hiss noise, which is the white noise. But that's the Yamaha sound. Yamaha is known as the best digital piano maker. Did you know that? They're known as the best technology of recording. When they make the digital piano, they record the best sounding grand piano, several grand piano. They record every note, and then they combine with the best sounding pianos. They combine them together, and you just play it. When you push the key, of course, you can adjust by the sensor. You can adjust the strength of the sound and the touch of the sound. You can adjust them, but basically it's the principle of making sound is just you record the sound and you let it out. It's just the speaker, it's machine. It's a very sophisticated machine, but it's more like a electronic device, not musical instrument. It's also musical instrument, but you know what I mean. So I believe the technique they made this silent guitar will be similar to making the digital piano. So this is what you get. I mean, it can be sound a little artificial. It can sound a little dry, but it's the best they can get, So I think you need to just take it. And the last one, there's no space for tapping, So the fingerstyle players, including myself, they can tap. You can also tap the strings, but you don't it doesn't have the body. Normally we hit the surface over here or over there, but you just have the frame. You can just hit the frame, but it's kind of like too far from the string. So I think you just forget about it. You just forget playing the fingerstyle with this guitar. Just play the songs, which doesn't include the fingerstyle, okay? Okay. Finally, little tips. Tips number one: the original earphones sound the best. I've tried every kind of earphones and headphones. Okay, I've tried very high quality Sennheiser headphone on here, and I've tried very expensive professional monitoring Sony earphone in here, but the bundle earphone, which includes, when you buy the guitar, they give you the earphone, which looks very cheap. That's the Yamaha earphone for this guitar, and it sounded the best after several experiments. Okay, so don't spend too much too much money on the earphones or headphones. Nowadays we all use the Bluetooth earphones and headphones, so don't buy the expensive what is it called, wire earphone. Okay, sorry, my battery just died in the let's continue to the tip number two. Tip number two is 200N and 200NW model have a definite quality difference. For those of you who vacillating between those two, okay, it has definite quality difference, including the peg head over here. Looks much more luxury, much more nice, and overall design it fits much better than the red peg head. The brand Yamaha, they don't, if it's more expensive, they have the reason. The brand Yamaha do that very well. If the model is just $50 difference, they make a definite quality difference. That's what Yamaha is. And so the major question will be like this: does NW worth to invest more money? I will say yes, because this ebony fretboard, it feels much nicer. But I can't explain it. But feels much more. Feels much better than the rosewood fingerboard, I think. And also because of the width, the wider neck, I think the sound is much fuller than the N model. But if you prefer the narrower neck, you should definitely go for the normal N model. Okay. And tip number 3, the upgrades, such as the nut and saddle and strings. Some of the classical guitar players and the acoustic guitar players, they changed the nut and saddle into bone or other material to upgrade their sound. And also string is the number one factor that changed the sound. So lots of guitar players likes to change the strings with the better ones, but I've tried that with the normal N model, which I had several years ago. That that didn't work at all. It's my personal experience, but it didn't work at all. I've changed all of my acoustic guitars. I've changed the nut, every single nut and every single saddle into bone, and I've changed every single guitar with the Elixir phosphor bronze strings, which is the high quality, and even the end pin of the acoustic guitar, I've changed it into bone or the ebony, and I definitely felt the differences, and I satisfied that investment. But this particular guitar, as I explained, the way of this guitar generates the sound is definitely different from the definitely different from the normal guitars with the body, with the resonance inside. So don't do it. Alright? That's my advice for those of you who have temptation to upgrade the parts. Don't upgrade the nut and saddle, and don't upgrade the strings, don't upgrade the earphones, okay? It's perfect. It's best, sound the best as it is, okay? But the amp is an exception. But they made the special amp especially for this model, which is called THR 5A. A stands for acoustic, and they've also released some of the better versions, better amps than the THR 5A. But I've heard that amp is especially made for this silent guitar, and I had that amp too, and it sounded very good. I don't know, it sounded better than connecting on the what was the brand, that the luxury acoustic guitar amp? I can't remember the name, but I'm not sure, but the amp itself is really good. But if you want to try to invest more money on this guitar, just upgrade your amp, not the guitar itself, okay? And the tip number 4 is don't sell it. Don't do it. Don't do the mistake that I had. It's up to you, just whether you sell this guitar or not, but you will have the moment that you regret the fact that you sold this guitar, and chances are you chances are you'll buy this guitar, comes to buy this guitar again. So that's the waste of money. So don't make the same mistake I did, okay? And the final tip for you is never buy the used ones, okay? I feel sorry for who bought my previous guitar, but this particular model is not like the normal guitar. Like I said, it's more like more like electronics, more like a machine, and the electronics and machines tends to perform less, performing less as time goes by. This is the machine that has the electronics over here. So acoustic guitar tends to sound better as time goes by when the top and the back and sides are aged. The sound becomes more open and sound becomes more clear and fuller. But this guitar is more like an electronics, Electronics, which one is the best? The new one. The new one is the best. Okay? So I recommend you to buy this guitar. If you are willing to keep this guitar for a long time, I definitely recommend you to buy this new one, fresh one, okay? So that was my little humble opinions on this guitar. So, but I'm sorry that you pushed my video to hear some sound sample. I'm sorry that I don't have a amp right now, so I wish to hear you some music, but I can't, so I'm sorry about it. But I hope it helps those of you who are, who are very confused, or who are very hesitating to buy this guitar. I definitely recommend you to buy this guitar. I bought it twice, okay? So I need you to buy it. Don't upgrade the parts. That's the last advice that I want to put emphasis once more, okay? Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.